Have you ever wondered about the impact of climate change on Greenland's glaciers? Well, it's a question that Danish researchers from the University of Copenhagen sought to answer. They embarked on a comprehensive study spanning an impressive 130 years and encompassing over 1,000 glaciers. Their mission? To uncover the truth about the rate of melting of these icy giants. And the findings, my friends, are quite startling. What these researchers found might just change the way we view the urgency of climate change. The study, a laborious venture spanning 130 years, involved the scrutiny of 1,000 glaciers. This monumental undertaking was not just a quick glance at the surface, but an in-depth exploration into the heart of Greenland's icy landscapes. The researchers, like detectives on a cold case, embarked on their mission armed with tools of modern technology and archives of the past. They sifted through countless satellite imagery and dusted off old aerial photos, all in an effort to document the extent of glacial retreat throughout Greenland. These visuals, a timeline of change etched in ice, painted a stark picture of the evolving landscape. Each image, each photo, was a piece of the puzzle, a clue to the unfolding mystery of the glacier's retreat. The researchers were not just studying the past, they were tracing the footprints of the future. In their hands, they held the evidence of decades, the silent testimonies of glaciers that once were. Their mission was not just to study, but to bear witness to the relentless march of climate change. What they discovered was a chilling reality of our climate crisis. The findings were startling. Greenland's glaciers are melting at an unprecedented pace. Imagine, if you will, a massive ice sheet, once a symbol of the unyielding power of nature, now succumbing to an invisible adversary. That's what's happening in Greenland right now. This isn't mere speculation or some doomsday prophecy. It's the result of a comprehensive study spanning 130 years and involving over 1,000 glaciers. The researchers found that the rate of melting has surged, and not just by a small margin. It's increased fivefold in the past 2 decades compared to the 1980s and 90s. But what does this mean? What does a fivefold increase in melting really imply? It's evidence of an alarming acceleration, a clear sign that the effects of climate change are not only real, but are happening at a speed we may not be prepared for. The impact of climate change on Greenland's glaciers is no longer a matter of debate. It's a hard fact, underscored by the volume of ice that's disappearing each year. The glaciers are receding, retreating under the relentless onslaught of global warming. These findings present an undeniable truth. The climate crisis is real, and it's happening right now. The consequences of melting glaciers reach far beyond rising sea levels. Picture this. The perpetual melting is not just causing our shorelines to recede, but it's also meddling with our ecosystems and even our attempts at renewable energy. Let's take a moment to consider the ecosystems. Glaciers are not just large blocks of ice. They're habitats for a myriad of life forms. When these icy homes melt away, it's not just the polar bears that are left stranded. From the smallest microorganisms to the largest mammals, the ripple effect is vast and devastating. Now onto renewable energy. You might think, well, if the ice is melting, surely that's more water for hydroelectric power. Unfortunately, it's not that simple. The unpredictable nature of glacial melt can lead to flooding, which can damage infrastructure and disrupt the consistent flow of energy production. The effects of climate change are not a distant threat, but a current reality we must face. The urgency of addressing climate change cannot be overstated. It's not just about the ice, it's about our world, our home. The comprehensive study we've discussed reveals a stark truth. Greenland's glaciers are melting at an unprecedented pace. We're talking 5 times faster in the last 20 years compared to the 80s and 90s. This isn't a problem for the future, it's a problem for now. The consequences are far-reaching. Changes in ecosystems, challenges for renewable energy, and the looming threat of future sea level rise. This is our call to action. This is our moment to stand up and say, enough is enough. We need to reduce our CO2 emissions, not tomorrow, not next year, but now. This is our world, our home, and we have the power to protect it. We can slow the future sea level rise. We can mitigate the changes in our ecosystems. Together, we can make a difference. So let's do it. Let's take action for our home, for our future. To continuously be enlightened, like and subscribe.